Hey, you could like with smoke added or like something like that. You can't call it smoke. It's not smokehouse.
Right.
It's McDonald's.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You're not a smokehouse. You don't have a smokestack in the back.
Right.
Now, if you're gonna come out with like McDonald's. Like, and Texas Roadhouse just had a baby.
Oven house.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, it wasn't the best burger I've ever had, but for McDonald's, I was like, hey, man, you guys need to know where you're at. Okay.
For Thanksgiving, are we doing turkey or ham?
Turkey. 100% of the time.
Now,
It
turkey,
makes me
like
so
traditional
frustrated
or
when
like
people
fried?
have a turkey or have a ham instead of a turkey. It drives me fucking nuts.
Have you ever had fried turkey?
I have had a fried turkey. I thought it was delightful. Now, granted, it was the first attempt that person had ever done at a fried turkey. So it was just kind of one of those, like, listen, just don't fry it when it's frozen. That was like all that they knew about it.
Right.
I'm trying to think of the... But for the most part, I mean, 99% of the turkeys that I've had have not been fried. So I don't really have a really good comparison basis of... sample size. I need more sample size.
Okay. I'm the one in my family who started, like, taking over Thanksgiving. And, like, yeah, you can do the turkey. I let my mom do the turkey. Actually, no, this last year I just stuffed, like, an orange and some lemons in the turkey. I didn't do stuffing in there. With, like, some onions. And we were going to try and do it, like, rotisserie style.
Yeah.
But the rotisserie, like, it was, like, off-kilter, so we couldn't do it, so I just threw it in the oven. I'm all about Thanksgiving sides.
Have you ever...
Yeah, Thanksgiving sides are the bomb.
I make all the sides, and they're all amazing.
Have you ever done that thing where you take like a butter and you put like seasonings like your parsley and garlic and stuff, and you get it underneath the skin, like you separate the skin from the meat and you pack it in there and you try it out, man.
Mm-hmm. And then you like fold the skin back on and cook it like
really,
that.
really, if you have a steady enough hand, you can separate the skin without removing it, right? So, so really, all you have to do is separate enough to like shove the butter in there,
like you're putting
under
a sheet or a
and then it just soaks in there. So yeah, like whatever, oregano, parsley, garlic, whatever you want, and
There's
I love how every time
takes a
we
little
say
finesse,
something like this, you start taking notes.
Oh,
on
yeah.
it.
Hey man,
No, that's going
I
in
love
his,
learning.
That's going in his cream journal.
Yeah.
No, with that though, I kind of, I don't know. I had there we go. I had an experience when I want to say it was like 11 or 12. My dad got a little bit of a Christmas bonus, I guess, and went out to Menards and picked up a smoker like this. This was our red radio flyer wagon like story when we were growing up. He went out and bought a bright red, looked like a rocket ship smoker from Menards, brought it home, and he's like, "We're gonna try this out." And he, to his credit, he sat and like studied like all the things he could do with it and that kind of thing, and really got into it. And my mom was like, "Tell you what, you spent all the money on that thing. Turkey's yours this year." And he's like, "Thank you. You won't regret this." And he disappeared off into the garage. When Thanksgiving Day came around and we had Thanksgiving at our house, this was the proudest I've ever seen my dad. He walked in the house with this big honking. It looked like you took my feet off my body, and I was curled up in the fetal position. He carried it in and started cutting off pieces. He goes, "Try that." Like, okay, tried it. Best thing I've ever had, ever. Like burger, steak, chicken, ice cream, breakfast, cereal, anything over everything. I have fond memories about that. And but the horrible thing is, like, I've been hunting that down ever since. Like, being friends with John, and it's like, "You're a chef, man. I need you to I need you to find this for me. You're my Laura Croft. You need to go and search this artifact out and bring it back to me. I will pay you handsomely, whatever you need." And just every time he's
Are
like,
you talking about the specific smoker or
No. Just
the flavor of this turkey. This is your white whale.
Yeah, and I
White meat.
there you go. And I've asked my dad before. I was like, "Do you remember what it went into it?" He's like, I don't know. When you were 12,
pretty
it was a rough time. I was like, what was rough about it? He's like, your mom told me to keep quiet. Fantastic.
So he will take the secret of that Thanksgiving to his grave.
Yeah, I found out later that going out to the garage, he wasn't studying the whole time. It's like, okay. That was
It was an herb butter.
right. That's why it was
That's
so
why
good.
it was good. And then you saw clowns, and that.
He's just out with like a sock wrapped around his head, just rubbing shit on. They loved it.
The secret's the sawdust.
Right. So I feel like we've hit the gamut of.
I,
You got one?
I just have two, like, the lightning round.
Perfect.
Oh, please.
Perfect. Okay.
And then I'm done. Favorite cereal?
Oh man, so you're gonna take me back.
I was about to say, don't you say no cereal for me? I'd be like,
No, right now versus when I was a kid, because I still remember like Frosted Cheerios being the shit when they came out, and just eating those by the box. Just me and a gallon of milk and a bowl and a carton or a box of cereal, just fucking going at it with those Frosted Cheerios. So that's probably where I'm gonna stay.
Well, I still remember being young enough to not know that things had a price, and Apple Jacks. Like, if there would have been an endless supply of that, I would never need anything.
Oh, quick! Go get Apple Jacks. Get some chocolate milk and do that instead of white milk. Change your life. Yeah. No, somebody told me, I was like, "You're fucking out of your mind," and then I did
You
it.
did it.
I was like, "All right."
It's like dipping
You were
the
not
fry
out
in
of
the
your-
Frosty, like
Right,
it's
right,
life changing.
Like you were talking about the kid that watched the cooking videos and he's like, what the hell? Somebody told me they pour orange juice into their cereal. I was like, that's the work of the devil.
Kick them out of their house.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I was like, oh
No.
I won't even
No.
try it.
Right.
All right, last question for me. You go to Japan.
Yep.
You go to a sushi bar. What's the one fish? You only have one fish. What is it?
Unagi.
All right.
Unagi's my shit. That's my jam.
Unagi is eel. Is that
Yes.
right? Nice.
There's a comedian that had a great bit on unagi.
I know what you're talking about.
DC Benny?
Unagi power! No touchy. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Best story ever. I'm not gonna say it verbatim on the podcast, but once we get up, I'll oh man.
Real
DC
quick,
Benny's great.
real quick, going back to the cereal thing. I was an idiot child, and I was like, you know
Not
what?
much has changed, am I right?
No, not much has changed. I was like, you know what?
Ian.
I'm gonna meal prep breakfasts for a week. And so, you guys know where this is going. Already, I grab out a box of Raisin Bran. I'm sitting down. It's like a Monday morning, and get the milk out. I get the Raisin Bran out. And I'm just pouring milk into the Raisin Bran. I didn't know things got soggy. I thought everything. I didn't know what.
I have to put it in one container, and then
I
I'll
put it in
pour
the
out
one
more.
thing, and my mom, luckily, like, I'm about to pour the entire thing of milk into the back. She's like, Ian, what are you doing? I'm like, meal prepping. Or something, whatever my 6-year-old self said. And she, like, grabs the milk away from me and is like, no. Nope. I'm like, what? Why? She's no. And then later that night, I was like, I'm going to try and cook. And the first time I tried to cook, it was hard-boiled eggs. And so I got the water boiling, and I put the eggs in, and I let them sit in the boiling water for 5 minutes, and I was like, that's how this works. They're done. And so then I go up to my parents' room, and I have them on a plate, and I set them right in front of their fan to let them cool.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what an ice bath was at the time. And so these eggs are just sitting in front of this fan, going, and I go to, I'm like, these are it's perfect. And I go down and I open one. I was smart enough, I opened it over the sink, and it just went like didn't boil at all. My parents get home. I had left the stove on.
Oh, God.
And my mom was like, well, you tried to make dinner, so you don't get dinner tonight.
No.
I was like, I've learned my lesson.
What are you
I'm
doing, Ian?
so
Meal
hungry.
prepping. Monday I'm having Raisin Bran. The rest of the week I'm having oatmeal.
I burnt oatmeal when I was a kid. Burnt oatmeal.
Impressive.
This is why you like cooking so much now. This is an act of redemption.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck you, little kid. I know what I'm doing. I watch the Food Network. I don't burn my Quaker oats anymore. Probably because I put water in them now.
This is where the flashback ends, and you're just like, never again.
I do miss the Food Network. We got rid of cable just to have apps and shit on our Fire Stick now, and I have a list of food documentaries that I would love to watch after, of course, my wife gets done watching all of her murder documentaries.
You gotta wait.
Yeah. But I do miss the Food Network. That was the ultimate. Just I don't know what I want to watch.
Yeah.
But I want to watch something.
Yeah.
I need something on in the background. You know what? Let's find out what fucking Guy Fieri's up to today. Right? Like, what dive-in, driver, or dive, or whatever the fuck it was he going to today. Right. What dumpster is he diving in?
At karaoke, when I was working at the bar the other night, I was like, there's literally nothing else on TV. Turned it on to... It was The Office, and then that stopped, and then Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
There you go.
I feel like that fully encompasses my entire personality.
Oh, man.
All right, so I believe unless you have any questions for us, or
no, I kind of got my food question out of the way. I'm pretty satisfied.
Perfect. Well then, thank you for sitting down and talking with us, man. This has been fun.
My pleasure. This was a great time.
Trying some beer out, trying some what is it, Nathan's? I don't even know what it says over there.
Sweet horseradish pickles.
Oh my god.
Famous
horseradish pickles.
gourmet sweet horseradish pickles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Try me, tasty sweet.
Courtesy of Chef John Vance.
This is gonna be like, if I ever need one, a dating profile for me.
I'll just get you a shirt with that label on it.
Perfect.
Dang.
Order 2. I'll take one.
Shit, we're gonna sell unlicensed merchandise. Horseradish pickles.
But it's not going to be that exact label. It's just going to be hand drawn.
Like a kindergartner did it with crayons.
Backwards S.
I mean, Nathan's with an E at the end of it. Like,
The H has been
sense.
crossed out like 4 times. H. But yeah, thank you for sitting down with us, man. This has been fun. I thoroughly enjoyed picking your brain, as I know these guys have too. But yeah, hopefully we can have you on again, and we don't have to go over the kneeling thing. Hopefully,
that's right.
in the
Hopefully, ever
future,
again. Oh my god.
Hopefully, it weeds itself out, and everybody's just kind of like, okay, yeah.
Can I make one last point on that before we leave?
Absolutely.
Just because this has been popping up on my timeline continuously, is the fucking morons who go, well, I haven't seen any of the athletes protesting during the off season. What are they doing during the off season? I don't know. If they were really cared about this and it wasn't just a media stunt, they'd be protesting during the off season.
They're not kneeling in the middle of a high V.
Yeah, it's like first of all, that's the same thing as the people who are like, oh, there's been no school shootings in the last 3 or 4 months. Trump must be doing something right. Like, it's summer break, you fucking idiot. Yeah. Okay, all of these guys, I can name a dozen players who I know personally who have foundations or have started foundations since the protest started, who have donated tens of millions of dollars to inner city impoverished communities, done community service work, opened centers, given kids, education, scholarships, and done all this shit since this has started. It's the same as the people who are like, well, the Ice Bucket Challenge was stupid. That didn't accomplish anything. They raised like $50 million for ALS and like unlocked one of the keys to the cure because of the money raised from the Ice Bucket Challenge. Like, this shit is working. Yeah. People just don't see it because reporting the good stuff doesn't raise ratings and doesn't sell papers. And it's the off season. Do you normally keep track of what Malcolm Jenkins is doing in his house during the off season? Like, does that happen any other time? It's not going to fucking change. But they are doing good work and they're making a difference. So get off their fucking backs unless you're doing something yourself.
Yeah, most of the time during the summer they're covering injuries in practice. Yeah. And people's contract negotiations.
That's they're starting a free public school for...
Yeah, or if you're LeBron James, who apparently still can't do anything right in the eyes of some people.
But he's an idiot, and we're getting a Space Force, damn it.
We are getting a damn Space Force.
Now, your point about, nothing's happened over the summer.
God bless you.
I'm sorry.
There it is.
Holy smoke.
Horseradish pickles.
Yeah, let's get some horseradish pickles.
It's allergic to horseradish. Oh, God!
I'm needing a pen.
Those are going to be like $5,000. Sorry,
you
got to die. Let's not get started on the medical industrial complex.
That'll be next episode.
You know those 5-second films like I imagine one of those 5-second films being around like a failed massacre, and all you see is a shot down a hallway and some guy running into the door with, "All right, mother." Damn it! And walking back out.
That would be hysterical.
Just a janitor mom.
Like, get out of here, buddy.
Yeah.
If you can't have fun with it, then fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Now, again, thank you for coming in. Real quick before you leave, wanted to talk about Moxie Solar. You guys are doing big things. I see on Facebook every once in a while you'll post some pictures of a new government building or a new house that has accepted solar into their life. Can you talk for a minute about that? Plug a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. So I work for Moxie Solar.